I'm thinking about Gazzacho, and I don't feel like I think he eggs you so you don't do your part of the contract. I know that piece of it. But I really feel like pushing him out onto the street if you don't fulfill your part of the contract, or I don't fill my part of the contract, and then saying, well, you did that, so peace out, bitch. I don't think that that's
fair
to him.
Yeah.
And so if he's pushed to the point where I'm lizarding out on him, and it's vicious spiral, and then he punches a hole in the wall because there's no warm rock, there's no mirror validating, empathizing, there's no fucking love and logic, there's none of that, then I have failed him.
The necessity of you being in Wizard is what's at stake here. Because the moment you violate the contract, whether the landlord violates the contract or the tenant violates the contract, contract's null and void. And the what we do being more powerful than what we say or what we threaten or the consequences we promise to impose if what we do is the key. If we say this type of behavior is not going to trigger me anymore, then when it does, you better retreat to your safe environment and check in before you go lizard on your kid. Because the bottom line is that you are not a lizard, you're a dragon. And you don't have 14 years or 2 years or 8 years of some trauma that you're dealing with. You've got your 40 plus years of trauma and dragon that you're bringing to that table. The reason why I can look at you on day one and say your kid's not broken, the system is because just what I said to that family the other day, if this 10-year-old who says I tried to break my parents up, if that 10-year-old's effort is more powerful than that marriage, man oh man, that marriage wasn't probably very strong to begin with. And that's harsh as hell, but it's also got to be the truth. Here's the other harsh, totally inappropriate thing to say. Someone's got to be the adult in a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, this started for Gazzacho the moment he was adopted, and I was embarrassed of the way he was behaving.
That's when it started for you.
And I failed him by not standing up. And then
this cul-de-sac is not going to do you any good. You know what 4 houses are down in that cul-de-sac, okay? And that is a place that you go when you are I can only imagine that this is a place you go where you feel like that if you hold his feet to the fire, you're going to cause him more pain. But the truth is, at that moment when you adopted him and he was acting out in the pool, that's when it started for you and him. It started for him when his parents died.
Yep.
That is not your fault.
However, the repeated behavior I think is. And so being afraid of him, I think is. Responding to that craziness is.
You said repeated behavior. So did you keep his lizard going? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So you did.
Can I ask you?
So wait a second. Here's what I want to say. Here's the 20-second therapy session, okay? Yeah. You did. Now how many more moments will we give to that? Now how many more days of your life are going to be run by either that fear or that belief? If you want to believe that you're the one who kept his lizard going by how you parented him to the best of your ability, doing only what occurred to you, so be it. So here we are, and that belief has gotten you to this moment. Thank God, here we are finally. Because the question still remains, what shall you do next?
And I want to say that I will be perfect, and Lisa will be perfect, and Warren will be perfect. I want to say, I'm on a mirror, and I'm on this, and I want to say that. And I believe, like, today as I leave this door, that I'm going to be perfect.
You're going to relapse.
But exactly.
Yes.
And so then the failure is Gazzacho punching a hole, or the failure is the police being called.
No, the failure is that you relapsed. How fast you bounce from that is what we were looking for the last time Gazzacho failed. And used an automatic reaction that was behaviorally based, that is a conditioned response that dug the hole deeper and created an expectation of others. Yeah. And I said to you guys in that moment, now we're looking to see how fast he bounces back. And we saw one that only took a day or two. And you said you're going to see 2 more things, and by golly, we sure did. So we were like, all right, they've paid attention, they know what's going on. And then the next time something happened, we were like, okay, how fast it's going to... Look at that, it took him 4 hours. And the next time, so the question is not, will you relapse? It's okay, you're going to. It's part of your recovery. You cannot have recovery without the relapse. You can't. I've not had drugs or alcohol in my system for 18 years, but by God, I've had a codependent relationship. I've had food issues. You're going to relapse. The question is, how long does it take you to go, those my relapse? And you turn around to Gazzacho and say, that one's on me, kiddo. And here's what I've just realized. And he looks at you and listens to that conversation, and maybe in the moment goes, you know what, you're right, it's always your fault, da-da-da-da-da, and reinforces all your fears, but we know that that's not true as well. And maybe in that moment, that seed gets planted that says, if I take responsibility and I repair with that person, I remain connected, and I'm not alone. So you can take 100% responsibility for everything that's happened up until this point. By the power invested in me, I declare you 100% responsible for your family's predicament. Now, what happens next has to do with what you can really control, what 100% responsibility really looks like, and what taking care of yourself looks like.